Look at the heavy shoulders and the exhaustion radiating from this stone. This is the strongest man in myth, bearing the weight of a life he never chose. Heracles lived his entire existence as a pawn. His tragedy began before his first breath. Zeus desired a mortal woman named Alcmene, but her loyalty to her husband was absolute. To bypass her, Zeus took her husband's exact form and slipped into her bed. When Hera discovered the infidelity, she struck at the unborn child. Zeus had boasted that the next son born in his bloodline would rule the region, so Hera used her power to delay Alcmene's labor. She forced another child in the lineage, Eurystheus, to be born at 7 months, legally stealing the crown intended for Heracles. Hera's first assassination attempt followed shortly after. She sent 2 massive serpents into the baby's crib, but the child instinctively caught them, crushing their necks before they could strike. He survived the nursery, but the damage remained. The throne he was born to occupy now belonged to a weakling cousin, and his life became a series of defensive stands against a vengeful goddess. During a brief period of peace, he received an elite education. Amphitryon taught him to drive chariots, Eurytos trained him in archery, and Linos taught him music. In the wilderness, the centaur Chiron showed him the secrets of survival. His early victories suggested a bright future. At 18, he killed the Kithiron lion. King Thespius rewarded him with his 50 daughters, and the city of Thebes gave him Princess Megara as a wife after he led their defense in war. Then Hera intervened again. She infected his mind with a violent, temporary frenzy. A red haze clouded his vision, and in a state of total delusion, he hallucinated that his own children were enemies. He slaughtered them where they stood. When his sanity returned to the site of his murdered family, the grief was absolute. Seeking purification for the blood on his hands, he traveled to the temple of Apollo at Delphi to beg the oracle for a way to atone. The oracle delivered a staggering sentence. To pay for a crime he committed while possessed, he would enter the service of King Eurystheus for 12 years. The strongest man alive was now a slave. From within this fortress at Mycenae, Eurystheus issued a series of 12 tasks designed to kill Heracles. These were execution orders disguised as trials, forcing him to rely on raw muscle, a wooden club, and his arrows to survive. He strangled the Nemean lion, whose skin was invulnerable to blades, and buried the immortal head of the Lernaean hydra. He scattered the man-eating Stymphalian birds and physically wrestled the massive Cretan bull into submission. Each task grew more lethal. He captured the flesh-eating horses of Diomedes, seized the magical belt of the Amazon queen Hippolyte, and held the literal weight of the sky on his shoulders so the Titan Atlas could fetch the golden apples. When ordered to clean the filthy stables of King Augeas in a single day, Heracles used ingenuity over muscle. He dug massive trenches, redirecting the Alpheus and Peneus rivers to flush away decades of filth. Afterward, King Augeas betrayed their agreement, refusing the promised cattle.
This slight eventually cost the king his life. For the final labor, Eurystheus demanded the impossible, the capture of the guard dog of the underworld. Guided by Athena and Hermes, Heracles descended into the realm of the dead, rescued the hero Theseus, and dragged the multi-headed Kerberos into the light. Hera's plan backfired. By attempting to murder him with the world's most terrifying primordial monsters, she forced him to hunt them to extinction, making the natural world safe for the rise of human civilization. But his strength remained a danger to everyone around him. During a brawl with wild centaurs, Heracles fired an arrow coated in hydra venom. It accidentally struck his mentor, Chiron. The wound was so agonizing that the immortal centaur chose to die rather than endure the spreading poison. He tried again to find peace, winning an archery contest for the hand of the princess Iole. When the king denied him the prize, Heracles fell into another frenzy, throwing Iole's brother from a city wall. To atone for this second murder, he was sold as a slave to Queen Omphale of Lydia. She stripped him of his club and lion skin, forcing him to wear women's clothing and spin wool at her feet for 3 years. Once freed, he became a one-man engine of war. He fought alongside the gods against the giants, battled King Neleus, and leveled the city of Troy to punish King Laomedon for a broken promise. Throughout his life, Heracles was never the master of his own strength. Whether he was a slave spinning wool or an army toppling kings, he was a prisoner of a violent, divine destiny. His final pursuit of love led him to Deianira. To win her hand, he fought the shape-shifting river god Achelous, snapping off a horn that would become the legendary cornucopia, the symbol of endless plenty. During their travels, the couple encountered a centaur named Nessos at a river crossing. When Nessos tried to abduct Deianira, Heracles ended the threat with a single hydra-poisoned arrow. As the centaur lay dying, he offered Deianira a secret. He told her to collect the tainted blood from his wound, lying that it would act as a magical love charm if he ever grew distant. She kept the vial, unaware that the very poison Heracles used to purge the world was now hidden in his own home, waiting to destroy his marriage. Years later, when Heracles returned with a captive, a jealous Deianira remembered the centaur's gift. She soaked a tunic in the blood and sent it to her husband, believing it would return his hurt to her. The moment Heracles put the shirt on, his body heat activated the hydra venom. The fabric fused to his skin, melting into his nerves and causing a level of agony that no mortal could survive. To escape the torture, he climbed Mount Olympus and built his own funeral pyre. He threw himself into the flames, using the fire to finally end the excruciating suffering. The flames consumed his cursed mortality, allowing his divine essence to ascend to Olympos. He remains the ultimate ancient symbol of human endurance, earning his seat among the immortals by surviving the absolute limits of agony.